Hello YouTubers, this is Cessnaace back with another video.
Da 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 da, Cessnaace, pa 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 pa, Cessnaace, Cessnaace.
My youngest daughter made that using a Japanese import, Vocaloid 2. Now you have to use Japanese with this, but what she did was, as I've mentioned before, she's taught herself Japanese. She takes Japanese sounds and puts them together to form English sounds, in this case, Cessnaace. Now she tells me she's working on graphics to go along with that, so I may have an opening soon to my videos. Anyway, thought I'd go through my collection of DVDs. I'm going to try to make these shows as quickly as possible. Number 1. I don't know where number 2 is. Number 3, but I do have it. Number 4, guess I could have done that. That's number 1. This is number 3. And this is number 4. Number 5. I'm spending as little time as possible on each one because I have over 4,000 DVDs. I'm not going to show them all in this video. Number 6. This is before they came out with box sets. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. Number 10. Number 11. Number 12. Number 13. Number 14. This is the first home video release to include the original music for City on the Edge of Forever. At some point, Paramount lost the rights to the original score for this episode, and they used a library track or library tracks in place of the original score, because the estate wanted to, for the original composer wanted more that Paramount was willing to spend. Paramount ponied up the money, and so this and subsequent releases of City on the Edge of Forever have had the original music. This is number 20. No, it's not. It's number 15. I don't know where I got 20 from. $16. 17. 18. It's amazing when you think about it how many home video releases Paramount has given Star Trek. Numerous releases on VHS, Betamax, CED, Laserdisc, DVD, Blu-ray. Did they release it on HD DVD? Because I know Paramount was one of the supporters of HD DVD. 19, there's 19. 20, here's it. 21. NBC offered Gene Roddenberry the opportunity to spin off Star Trek into another series, or to have a spin-off series, which would have starred Harcourt Fenton Mudd, played by Roger Cornell. But at that point, Paramount had already announced they were canceling Star Trek. And Roddenberry said, only if you renew Star Trek. They called his bluff, and he didn't back down. This is number 22. Could have had a spin-off series. 23. And finally 24. Okay, I'm a big Simon Pegg, Nick Frost fan, and you've probably noticed that they've been running commercials and trailers for the next in the trilogy, At World's End. The first film in the trilogy was Shaun of the Dead. Most of the cast members, including the ancillary characters that are in Shaun of the Dead, are in At World's End. This crops up on Comedy Central a lot, as does the second film in the trilogy, Hot Fuzz. Now, this film, although it starred Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, was not part of the trilogy. This is an American movie. Very funny one, though. And I love the ending. Paul. That's featured in the cast Sigourney Weaver, who was also, if you remember, in Galaxy Quest. Okay, I've shown this before. It's a mad, 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 mad world. on DVD. This is the shortest on Blu-ray. This is the shortest cut that I have. It runs 2 hours and 29 minutes. 2 hours and 39 minutes. 2 hours and 39 minutes. So, this is not, yes it is. It's still the shortest cut I have. This film has been recut so many times since its world premiere, it ain't funny. 2 hours, 39 minutes. The DVD version runs 2 hours, 41 minutes. The Laserdisc box set that I have runs 3 hours and 8 minutes. Okay. I mentioned to Ollie Studio Et in Sweden that I'm a big Woody Allen fan. I don't have all of the Woody Allen films that I have on DVD, and I don't have any on Blu-ray yet. I have a lot on Laserdisc, that I don't have on DVD, and some that I have on VHS that I don't have on DVD, or Laserdisc for that matter. This is the first Woody Allen movie I ever saw, and I saw it in a theater in West Germany. Sleeper. This is also the film that caused me to fall in love with Diane Keaton. This was the first film in which Diane Keaton co-stars with Woody Allen, or is in a Woody Allen movie, for that matter. This has both the widescreen version and standard version, modified to fit your screen. What many people consider to be his best film, co-starring Diane Keaton, Annie Hall. I swear I saw that in a theater. A Midsummer Night's Sex Comedy. This was the first film co-starring Mia Farrow, who contacted Woody Allen, and she had been writing him letters for years stating that she was a big fan of his. Doubt that she is now. And so this is the first film that he cast her. Also features Jose Ferrer, Julia Haggerty, who was also in Airplane, Tony Roberts, who was in many early Woody Allen films, and Mary Steenburgen. Sweet and Low Down. This features Sean Penn, and the thing is, Woody wanted him to be able to play the guitar convincingly without any cutaways. So he sent a tutor who, I can't remember if it was 6 weeks or 6 months, but spent quite a bit of time teaching Sean Penn how to play the guitar. And so he does very well and without any cutaway shots, full on. Very good Woody Allen thriller, Match Point. I can't remember if, no, this wasn't the first film that had Scarlett Johansson in it, but she's in five of his films so far. To Rome with Love, think this is the fourth film with Alec Baldwin in it. I'm not a big Alec Baldwin fan. I love this film. Midnight in Paris. Woody Allen used Owen Wilson, the best I've ever seen any director use Owen Wilson. Midnight in Paris. Some say it is too long. The opening montage that takes place in Paris. That's just shots of Paris, cut to music, but it's great. It runs about 4 minutes, and it really sets the tone of film. I'm not going to give away what happens in this film because it's truly magical, and if I gave it away, it wouldn't be as magical. No, would it? Alice? This also starred Alec Baldwin, Blythe Danner, Judy Davis, William Hurt, Key Luke, Joe Mantegna, Bernadette Peters, Sybil Shepherd. This, I don't understand this at all. This, I haven't seen this. The trailer looks funny enough, but most people say it's not his best film. Anything else. Now, the Leonard Maltin movie guide gives this a bomb. However, Ebert and Roper gave it 2 thumbs up. And at the IMDb, they give this a 6.5, I think it is, which is the exact same rating they gave Midnight in Paris, which Leonard Maltin gave 3.5 out of 4 stars. So you can't go by critics. I don't. Woody Allen, Jason Biggs, Stockard Channing, Danny DeVito, Jimmy Fallon, and Christina Ricci. Vicky Cristina Barcelona, another good movie. The common thing among critics is, or at least Martin Scorsese said this, just when you're ready to write Woody Allen off because he's made 2 or 3 bad films, he comes out with a real gem. So you can't skip his films. This also features Penelope Cruz, Kevin Dunn, Rebecca Hall, Scarlett Johansson, Chris Messina, others whose names I can't pronounce. Okay, that is going to go over there. This is an interesting concept. I've seen it on cable, but I have not watched this DVD. It cost me all of $3. It stars Chiwetel Ejiofor, Will Ferrell, Johnny Lee Miller, Rodya Mitchell, Amanda Peet, Chloe. See, I'm hampered by the fact that some of the names are partially covered by a price sticker. Wallace Shawn, the great Wallace Shawn. One love story, 2 versions, seriously funny. Melinda and Melinda. What's interesting about this film is it tells the same story twice, as a drama and as a comedy. A lot of critics write this film off, but I like it because it has Helen Hunt in it, and her and Woody Allen are great together. The Curse of the Jade Scorpion. I think this is the first film he made that was distributed by DreamWorks, at least in the US. Also featured in the cast Dan Aykroyd, and Wallace Shawn, David Ogden Stiers, which is, and Clarice Theron, and I butchered that. David Ogden Stiers has been in about 5 Woody Allen movies. Wallace Shawn's been in about 5. I think 5 is the magic number. Love this film. From Miramax. At the time, Miramax was a division of Disney. It no longer is, but this is his one and only musical. Everyone Says I Love You. The ending is great. This features in the cast Alan Alda, Woody Allen, Drew Barrymore, who's the only one who doesn't do her own singing, Lucas Haas, Goldie Hawn, Gabby Hoffman, Natasha Lyonne, Edward Norton, Natalie Portman, Julia Roberts, Tim Roth, and David Ogden Stiers. But there is a dance sequence with Woody Allen and Goldie Hawn that's just great. Okay, before I go to that one, well, I'm in a no-lose situation because both of these films are less than stellar. Scoop. Woody Allen, Hugh Jackman, Scarlett Johansson, Ian McShane. This is one of his British films, as was Match Point. So you might go by that. Hollywood Ending. This is interesting. It has its moments. Woody Allen is great, but the story is somehow lacking. Woody Allen, George Hamilton, T.L. Leone, Deborah Messing, Mark Rydell, Treat Williams, etc. Who distributed that? DreamWorks. I've shown this before. 3-hour and 35-minute documentary on 2 discs of Woody Allen's career, up through and including Midnight in Paris. And that's where it stops, but he's made about 4 films since then. But that has been his commercially most successful film, or his most commercially successful film. Whatever. Made something like $50 million in the US, which is unheard of. He doesn't make any, generally doesn't make anywhere near that in the US. Okay. This is a PAL standard release. Strange Report. This is a television series that actually aired on American network television, on NBC to be exact, as a summer replacement series. It was shot in London, and the ratings were good, and NBC wanted more. The producers wanted to move the series to Hollywood because they would be able to get big American actors to, not big as in size, but big as in box office appeal and so forth, to be in the series. And every cast member said, "You do and will walk." And that's what they did. So it could have gone on longer than it did. Anthony Quayle, he was in a Woody Allen movie. as was Vanessa Redgrave. They were both in Everyone. Oh, wait a minute. Well, everything you ever want to know about sex, but were afraid to ask. It's the one film he says that if he had to do it over again, he wouldn't make it. Each of these episodes has two titles. Report 4407, Heart, No Choice for the Donor. Report 1553, Racist, The Most Dangerous Proposal. Report 0649, Skeleton, The Sleeping Heroes Lie. That one's really cool the way it starts. It starts in London during the Second World War, and a building is bombed out and buries the hero, and so on and so forth. And there is an episode that features Vladek Shibal. Takes place in Russia. Well, the Russians ask for him to come and solve the murder, and he was in the Jerry Anderson series, which was distributed in the U.S. by ITC, UFO. There was another actress in here and another actor with Jerry Anderson connections. Okay, now that I'm looking for it, I'm not finding it. Peter Vaughn. Zena Merton. She was in Space 1999. She played Sandra. He had a small part, so I'm not seeing him. But he would go on to be the star in UFO. And Richard O'Sullivan, who would go on to star in the original British version of Three's Company, Man About the House. He played the title male role in that. Anyway, I love this series, which I guess explains why I've gone on too long about it. Gilligan's Island, the complete first series, or season. I'm stuck in series mode. The complete second season of Gilligan's Island. I know it says $34.99, but it was $9.99. As was this one, even though it's marked $29.99. The complete third season of Gilligan's Island. Going back to the land of Pal. This is the complete, I assume, Series 1 and Series 2 of On the Buses, which many online polls, whenever they are taken in England, this ranks as the funniest British sitcom ever. It's in black and white, but it was so popular that between series or seasons, they would make a feature-length movie for theatrical release, and they made a total of 3 of them. And I can't remember if it's the first one or the second one. One of them, the year it was released, outperformed the newest James Bond film that year in England. I'm talking about. On the Buses, this is the best of Series 3 and 4. The cast is exactly the same except for the mother has been recast. I don't know if the original actress died or what, but she was replaced. But I mean, the bus driver who is supposed to be young and on the make, so forth, played by Reg Varney, who was in his 50s when this series was on in the 60s. So, anyway, this should encompass the entire run of On the Buses. I just need to track down the movies. DuckTales, woo! When I worked for WAWS Channel 30, Jacksonville, they ran this for their kids' block. Titanic 2000 Collector's Edition. I'm not saying it's any good. I haven't even seen it. The Skulls trilogy. Normandy, No Prisoners. Rocky and Bullwinkle and Friends, Season 1. And now for something I hope you'll really like. The Flintstones, the complete first season. John Ratzenberger's Made in America. This box set includes Gibson guitars, Harley Davidson, Airstream trailers, Campbell soup, Craftsman tools, Zippo lighters, Corvettes, Sikorsky helicopters, etc., etc., etc. There is an episode that covers Stern pinball, but unfortunately that's not in this set. Big Terry Thomas fan. This is PAL standard. He was the one with the hyphen between his name, or between Terry and Thomas, and the gap between his teeth to go along with it. First film I ever saw him in was in Those Magnificent Men and Their Flying Machines, but he was also the main British character in It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. One of several films in which he co-starred with Peter Sellers. The Naked Truth. It's from 1957. This is hilarious. Too Many Crooks. And as I remember it, one of the few roles where he played a good guy. Make Mine Mink. He mainly played dastardly villains. In fact, I swear he is was the inspiration for the Hanna-Barbera series Wacky Races and Dastardly and Muttley, where he played Dastardly. I swear. I don't know that. I think that. Salt. Three Amigos. This is based on a true crime that took place in England, a series of murders committed by a serial killer. This film does tell the story of the true life case that ended the death penalty in England. And Richard Attenborough and John Hurt both give amazing performances. Trying to remember if this included the original theatrical trailer. I think it did. But I'm not totally sure. Okay. NCIS, the complete season 1. NCIS, the complete season 2. NCIS, the complete season 3. NCIS, the complete season 4. NCIS, the complete season 5. NCIS, the complete season 6. NCIS, the complete season 7. Van Helsing, the London assignment. 48 hours on Blu-ray. 10,000 BC on Blu-ray. Person of Interest, Season 1. Great, great show. Okay. Numbers, the complete Season 1. Numbers, the complete Season 2. Pro, Volume 1, 3 off. Chips, 99 from Warner Archive. This is a biopic. It tells the biography of his name is escaping me. Bob Crane. Autofocus. And of course, it's the main star of Hogan's Heroes and was found bludgeoned to death. Willem Dafoe is, of course, a natural as the villain. John Carpenter. No, not that John Carpenter. This is a great documentary. I've seen it a couple times on cable, and I've watched it a couple times on DVD. The Art of Action, Martial Arts in the Movies. Featuring John Woo, Ang Lee, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and your favorite Hong Kong action legends. Ang Lee, John Woo, Sammo Hung. There's one Jackie Chan's in there somewhere. But this has English and French language tracks and subtitles in English, French, Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, Korean, and Thai. Produced by Stars, which is who has been running it. The Fifth Element on Blu-ray. Knowing. From Warner Archive. Zeppelin. Also have this movie on VHS. But as far as I know, there haven't been any other official releases of this film. This is an unsold pilot movie from Star Trek writer Gene Roddenberry, Planet Earth. Janet Margolin, Ted Cassidy, Christopher Carey, Diana Muldaur, who of course was in 2 episodes, or is it 3, of the original Star Trek series, and she played Dr. Pulaski in Star Trek The Next Generation, or on Star Trek The Next Generation. An excellent film based on the TV series The Untouchables. The Untouchables was the final TV series, and so was the film. Kevin Costner, Charles Martin Smith, Andy Garcia, Robert De Niro, and Sean Connery. Director's cut. Okay, you're not likely to have this on DVD unless you A, lucked out, or B, spent hundreds of dollars, or went the route I did. This has only been available on DVD briefly. And so whenever I find a copy on Amazon, it's going for hundreds of dollars. This I bought right after it had been released briefly in the US on VHS, slow speed. This I got from a guy in Australia. He used a VCR with extra wide heads, and he recorded it from a slow speed VHS tape, but it looks and sounds pretty darn good considering. This is a made-for-TV movie from the 70s. Do a search under this title on Amazon, and you're going to find a lot of things that have nothing to do with this movie. Birds of Prey. This has some amazing helicopter stunt work in it, considering it was a made-for-TV movie. A duel between 2 helicopters. That one I showed you. And that one. This used to be on television all the time in the 70s, and then it promptly disappeared. I have 2 copies of this one because they sent me one, and before it arrived they said they had some that were defective, so they were sending out free second copies. I haven't played the one that's still sealed, so I don't know. But it's from Warner Archive, Rio Rita, with Wheeler and Woolsey. This was later remade at MGM with Evan Costello, which is kind of strange because they made most of their movies at Universal. I have seen this on TV, and I have looked and looked and looked and looked for it on DVD in vain, not finding it until one day I happened upon it at Warner Archive. Warner Archive releases new DVDs and Blu-rays every single week. This is a made-for-TV movie, a British made-for-TV movie, starring Michael Caine and Jane Seymour. Jack the Ripper. This does tell you or show you who they consider to be the prime suspect. They catch him in the act. This is an excellent, excellent, excellent movie. British film from 1960. I believe it was Martin Scorsese who found the film, bought or found out about the film, bought his own print, which he would show at every film festival that he went to. And it is a really good film. It tells the story of a guy. The character is German. The actor who played him had lost his German accent, but he had to get some of it back. So it was right as an undercurrent, basically, to his main way of speaking, because that's what the director wanted. Talking about Peeping Tom, he would take a 16 millimeter 16 millimeter motion picture camera and film murders as he committed them, and how he committed them, and held that camera at the same time. I'm not going to give away, but there are a ton of extras in here, and I've run a ton long, but I have managed to get a lot of DVDs in here. So until part 2 in a day or two, or maybe tomorrow, who knows, stay awesome. And if the audio is bad, I'm sorry.